Welcome back, listeners, to Sandman Stories Presents, a folklore podcast where I read you to sleep or until the next story. I'm your host, Dustin. Today we are back in the book of Sioux folktales, written down by Charles Eastman. We are entering the third and fourth nights, where we are about to hear about an eagle and a beaver, and then about a war party. Okay, let's begin. The third evening. The Eagle and the Beaver. No, elder sister, it is not for a hunter and a brave to fetch wood for a lodge fire. That is a woman's task, and it is not right if you should ask me. But see, my younger brother, you are only a small boy, and can neither hunt nor fight. Surely, therefore, it is well for you to help our mother at home. The two children, Wasula and Chatana, as they draw near the old storyteller's wigwam, are carrying on a dispute that has arisen between them earlier in the evening, when dry sticks were supposed to be gathered for cooking for their supper, and Chatana, age 7, refused to help his sister on the grounds that it is not a warrior's duty to provide wood. Both appeal to their teacher to settle the question. "Hun, hun, hey!" good-naturedly exclaims the old man. "Truly there is much to be said on both sides, but perhaps you can agree more easily after you have heard my story." The Eagle and the Beaver. Out of the quiet blue sky there shot like an arrow the great war eagle. Beside the clear brown stream an old beaver woman was busily chopping wood, yet she was not too busy to catch the whir of the descending wings, and the eagle reached too late the spot where she had vanished in the midst of a shining pool. He perched sullenly upon a dead tree near by, and kept his eyes steadily upon the smooth sheet of water above the dam. After a time the water was gently stirred, and a sleek brown head cautiously appeared above it. "What right have you," reproached the beaver woman, "to disturb thus the mother of the peaceful and hard-working people?" "I'm hungry," the eagle replied shortly. "Then why not do as we do? Let other folks alone, and work for a living." "That is all very well for you," the eagle retorted, "but not everybody can cut down trees with his teeth, or live upon bark and weeds in a mud-plastered wigwam. I am a warrior, not an old woman." "It is true that some people are born troublemakers," returned the beaver quietly. "Yet I see no good reason why you, as well as we, should not be content with plain fare, and willing to toil for what you want. My work, moreover, is of use to others besides myself and my family. For with my dam building I deepen the stream for the use of all dwellers therein, while you are a terror to all living creatures that are weaker than yourself. You would do well to profit by my example." So saying, she dove down again to the bottom of the pool. The eagle waited patiently for a long time, but he saw nothing more of her. And so, in spite of his contempt for the harmless industry of an old beaver woman, it was he, not she, who was obliged to go hungry that morning. Pride alone will not fill the stomach. The end. Okay, and now the fourth evening. The war party. There is no greater rudeness than to interrupt a storyteller, even by the slightest movement. All Sioux children are drilled in this rule of behavior, as in many others, from their earliest babyhood, and old Smoky Day has seldom complained of any lack of attention. Even Tiona and Waola, active boys of 11 and 12, are already daring hunters, would be ashamed to draw upon themselves by word or motion the reproving looks of their mates. A disturbance so serious as to deserve the notice of the old teacher himself would disgrace them all. "Although we shall hear again of the animal people," he begins pleasantly, but with due gravity, "and even of some who are not animals at all, we must remember that each of these warriors whom I shall tell you really represented a man, and the special weakness of each should remind us to inquire of our own weakness." In this life, it is often the slow one who wins in the end, and this we shall see now. The War Party. One day the turtle made ready to go on the warpath. His comrades who wished to go with him were live coals, ashes, the bulrush, the grasshopper, the dragonfly, and the pickerel. All 7 warriors went on in good spirits to the first camp, where a strong wind arose in the early morning and blew the ashes away. "Ee-ho!" exclaimed the others. "This one was no warrior." The 6 kept on their way, and the second day they came to a river. There live coals perished at the crossing. "Sss," he said, and was gone. "Ah," declared the 5, "it is easy to see that he could not fight." On the further side of the river they looked back, and saw that Bulrush had stayed behind. He stood still and waved his hand to the others, who grumbled among themselves, saying, "He was no true brave, that one." The 4 who were left went on until they came to a swampy place, and there Grasshopper stuck fast. In his struggles to get out of the bog, he pulled off both legs, so there were only 3 to go upon the warpath. The dragonfly mourned for his friend. He cried bitterly, and finally blew his nose so hard that his slender neck broke in 2. "Ah," declared the other 2, "we are better off without those feeble ones." The pickerel and the turtle, being left alone, advanced bravely into the country of the enemy. At the head of the lake, they were met and quickly surrounded. The pickerel escaped by swimming, but the turtle, that slow one, was caught. They took him to the village, and there the headmen held a council to decide what should be done with him. "We will build a fire and roast him alive in the midst of it," one proposed. "Hee-yee!" the turtle shrilled his war cry. "That is the brave death that I would choose. I shall trample the fire and scatter the live coals among the people." "No," declared another. "We will boil water and throw him into a pot." "Hee-yee!" again cried the turtle. "I shall dance in the boiling pot, and clouds of steam will arise to blind the eyes of the people." The counselors looked doubtfully at one another, and at last one said, "Why not carry him out to the middle of the lake and drown him?" Then the turtle drew his head in and became silent. "Alas," he groaned, "that is the only death I fear." So the people took him out in a canoe and rowed out to the middle of the lake. There they dropped him in, and he sank like a stone. But the next minute he came up to the top of the water and again uttered his war cry. "Hee-yee!" he cried. "Now I am at home." And he dived and swam wherever he would. This story teaches us that patience and quick wit are better than speed. The end. I liked in the first one that the eagle didn't get his way, and I'm proud of myself for not laughing at the innuendo. The second one reminded me of Brother Rabbit and Anansi and all those other tricksters in the folk tales. "No, no, don't throw me into the briar patch." Yeah. And I can imagine the bravado of a 7-year-old boy claiming to be a warrior when he is just a little whelp. These stories are a lot of fun, and I'm enjoying reading them. And the podcast shoutout is to a favorite of mine, Nuzzle House. Glenn Nuzzle likes to read public domain stories. Some are old classics, some are newer, but still, all of them are public domain. Glenn and Rashani of the Ratchet Book Club podcast are the 2 best book readers and commentators making episodes. Nuzzle House is endlessly entertaining with quick wits, and it's an excellent listen. And if you like his show as much as I do, go and give him a rating, a like, and a review. And the listener shoutout is to the Azores. Archaeologists think that people lived there before the Portuguese moved in, but they aren't 100% sure. They've been mentioned in European sources as early as 1375. The main immigration to the island has been Portuguese, and oddly enough, Flemish settlers. The main population of the Azores is in São Miguel, in the city of Ponta Delgada. It's a beautiful green island, and I would love, love, love to go there sometime, if I can. And so to my listeners in São Miguel, I say, Obrigado y boa noite. Thank you, and good night.